Welcome back. Well, we go from infighting in one political party in one state to another and now turn our attention to the state of Karnataka, where problem within the BJP has also now been going on for a while, to the point that the sitting chief minister actually traveled to the national capital to meet the top leadership of the BJP. He's come back, but the rebellion still seems to continue. There is a lot of buzz on whether he will have to step down, step away or not. He's been denying all of this. But look at what it has boiled down to. Every time there seems to be more news being put out there about central leadership not being happy, or every time there are more dissenters from within the BJP in Karnataka speaking up against the chief minister, you see the support coming in from the Lingayat community, the community that this chief minister represents, and the Seers from various mutts who stand up to back Yediyurappa time and again. Now, if it is about his leadership as a chief minister, if it is about his leader for the party today and for the future, can it simply boil down to whether or not he should be there because he has the support of the Lingayats, or should it be more than that? That's essentially one thing that we wanted to talk about. Let me just tell you what has been the latest buzz over replacement of Yediyurappa as chief minister in Karnataka. Though he is denied that, he met the prime minister, top leadership in Delhi. Then he planned a legislative party. Now he's called it off, and reports suggest that he had to call it off because the central party leadership intervened and said, no, you cannot hold this. Instead, now he's going to be holding a dinner for all the leaders on July 25th. But while all of this was taking place, yet again, we saw the biggest of the names and the seers of the Lingayat community who came out in support of Yediyurappa. Why is it so important? Why is it that they keep on speaking and expressing their support to Yediyurappa? Well, because they represent and lead a community which is about 16% of the population in Karnataka. So politically, it's very, very important. They have a very strong base of support in the interiors of Karnataka, and they can collectively really decide, as they have so far, if Yediyurappa can win, can stay on, and or not. But should this be really the way that the fate of political leaders and sitting chief ministers gets decided in our country? Let's talk about what's going on within the Karnataka BJP, as we did about what's going on within the Punjab Congress Party. I say good evening to Captain Ganesh Karnik, spokesperson for Karnataka BJP, Brajesh Kalappa, national spokesperson for the Congress Party, Sriram Shashadri, political analyst, and Manu Ayappa, chief of political bureau in Times of India in Bangalore, who's joining us right now. If I can actually start off with Manu Ayappa to add a little bit more perspective to what's going on and the signaling really from pro-Yediyurappa and anti-Yediyurappa camps right now, Manu.
In the last 6 months in Karnataka, there has been the discussion over leadership change. But of late, maybe last week when Yediyurappa visited Delhi and met PM Modi and Union Minister Amit Shah, since then there have been speculations that he has been asked to make way for a future leader considering his age and health. So, but no one on record has so far said that there will be leadership change or Yediyurappa is going. That has further fueled more speculations about his time in office. And the dissident camp in the BJP state in Karnataka are claiming that his days are just numbered and he may go within a week. But Yediyurappa's camp was still hopeful that he may get some more time to stay for at least 1 or 2 months. But there's no clarity because none of the central leaders have reacted on this so far. And this has got all the BJP leaders in Karnataka worried. Nobody has any clarity on this issue. Meanwhile, Yediyurappa, for time being, is ensuring that all his supporters are backing him. All the several Lingayat Seers, I've met him in the past 2 days. Over 30 to 40 Seers I've met him. Some of them were very prominent Seers in Karnataka, very influential pontiffs, and requested the center to continue him for his full term. But none of the BJP leaders in the center have spoken anything on this. And now all eyes are on January 26th when he's supposed to address the press. Initially, they had planned to, Yediyurappa had announced that he will hold the legislature party meeting on 26th, followed by a dinner for the MLAs and his office staff. And this has triggered a speculation that he might end his tenure in a ceremonious way. But today, all of a sudden, he has cancelled all those legislature party meetings as well as the dinner and lunch meetings. And now there is again another round of speculation that he might continue in office, considering that the support he is getting from the community leaders.
Absolutely. So what's happening, Captain Karnik? The message that Yediyurappa was sending Chief a few days ago was all is fine. He doesn't have to step down. He's met the top leadership. Then why all of these changes and developments in the last couple of days that Manu Ayyappa was just describing?
Good evening to you and good evening to my co-panelists. I think what is happening is it is keeping all of you busy making guesswork. Otherwise, like Mr. Manu was mentioning, the party central leadership has not indicated anything. We have been taking a stand. We have been saying the same thing again and again, that he is our tallest leader and there will be no change in the leadership. And you have been talking about it. You have been discussing. You have been debating. All the channels are carrying stories. So with this confusion, possibly Seers have come and met him because he has been assisting all these pontiffs of not only one community, for almost all the community. He has been taking them into confidence. He has been taking care of them. So in these moments of confusion, they have come and met him and possibly expressed their solidarity and their gratitude for all the help he has extended. So this is the situation and you all have been guessing. So what can I say about it? Party has not said anything. Our party president at the national level, he has been...
You are saying that the Seers are having to repeatedly stand up and express their support for BS Yediyurappa because of all the speculation in the media and there is nothing more to it?
I think so. I think so. Because you have been carrying stories...
Brijesh Kalappa, what do you have to say to that?
See, the first thing is that Mr. Yediyurappa is, I think, individually responsible for the growth of the BJP in Karnataka. There is no gainsaying in saying that he's perhaps the tallest leader in Karnataka. And he's a fourth-term chief minister, and this is his second year in office. And I think if he were treated with a degree of respect, I don't think there was any need for him to have a show of strength of the Lingayat community today and to look as if he's a little recalcitrant to hand over office. I think the BJP is making a big mistake by treating him as if he doesn't matter to the system. And everybody knows what the writing is on the wall, that Mr. Yediyurappa is not going to continue in office. If you remember, when he was in Delhi, he met the Prime Minister, he met Mr. Amit Shah, he met Rajnath Singh ji, he met another minister whom I now forget. And besides, he met lots of other party functionaries. None of them is willing to stick their neck out and say that, no, Mr. Yediyurappa will continue in office. On the other hand, we have the BJP spokesperson, Mr. Karnik, saying that, no, he's going to continue on in office. I think there must be, this cloak and dagger business, which the BJP believes is going to help them, is going to destroy them, pulverize them, and devastate them in the long run. This kind of a system doesn't work. See, a person has worked with you, has worked for you so honestly, and he has brought the party to power not once, but 4 times. Now, if a person like this is being treated in this extremely shabby manner, I think even a ordinary worker gets a golden handshake, right? And I think everybody is entitled to a golden handshake after having put in years and years in an organization. Now, if that kind of respectability is not being handed out to the chief minister, and I think the BJP doesn't even realize that they're treating him shabbily, and there are certain things that he wants or he desires. If the BJP is not even going to bend to that extent, I think it's a very sad state of affairs, and it's not going to turn out very well for the BJP. These are ominous words, but I think they're going to be true.
Well, let me take this point across to Sriram Sheshadri. Mr. Sheshadri, not just Brijesh Kalappa, but several of the big leaders of the Congress party, along with him in Karnataka, have actually backed Yediyurappa, from MB Patil to Mr. Shiv Shankarappa. What's going on? Is it because the Congress also doesn't want to, upset or get on the wrong side of the same Lingayat community?
Good evening, Tanvi, and good evening to all my panelists. Yes, two things. One is the community as such is pretty strong. As you said, is about 17% population and vote bank. And if that community stayed together, then, whoever is the person nominated by this community will be the chief minister, even though there is other two dominant communities like Gaudas and others are there. But only Lingayat communities, whoever is nominated, they have a very strong proponent. The second is Congress very honestly also is going through a infight between Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar, and Congress. Suppose assuming, let's just for a moment assume that this government falls, and then if there is an early election, neither BJP nor Congress want an early election. Neither of them want to face the election now because of uncertainty. And hence, the only bet is that, if Yediyurappa continues, and who is the other tall leader from BJP who is there? And very likely that in 2023, when there is a general assembly election coming to, unless and otherwise Congress works very hard and then gives it on a platter to BJP to win, it is going to be a difficult, proposition for BJP this time to win back. And that is why, in the next 2 years, term that is left out, people want to cash in on and then see if someone can come back to power, or someone who is in the rebel camp that we talk about. Ideally speaking, we are forgetting one more important player in this game, Mr. Devagowda, who probably is instigating. Like, you cannot talk about Maharashtra politics without talking about Sharad Pawar, and then you cannot talk about Tamil Nadu politics without excluding Mr. Karnanidhi, erstwhile Karnanidhi. Likewise, you cannot talk about Karnataka politics without Mr. Devagowda in the fray. He may be working at the background for all these destabilization too. I'm just making a guess, and then probably I have certain conspiracy theory to prove that as well. So all these put together, next 2 years is going to be a hotbed for power, and that is what is probably keeping the power tussle between BJP and Congress. Doesn't want anybody else to come. They don't want to face the election now, and hence also they don't want to antagonize the Lingayat community, and that is why all the Lingayat community from every party is backing Yediyurappa to stay in power, because beyond the party politics is a community comes to play in a big way. And whoever the Seers says and whoever the Seers points out, they are going to be elected from that community. And hence, Congress also doesn't want to antagonize them. That's in a nutshell to put together the Karnataka politics.
Such is the power and the strength that the community and the Seers of this community have. Imagine that. I just want to go back to Captain Karnik on a response from what Brijesh Kalappa was saying. Brijesh, Congress party at this point of time, Captain Karnik, seems to be showing more respect to the chief minister than some of your own party leaders.
I appreciate Mr. Kalappa's views that he accepts that he's the tallest leader in Karnataka state, and there is absolutely no dispute about it. I welcome his views about it, because we also have been taking the same stand that he has been the tallest leader in our state. Yes, there are some internal issues which party is capable of sorting it out. But more than that, what Mr. Shishadri mentioned, yes, there are different layers of this political confusion, whether it is Janta Dal, whether it is Congress. Congress in itself, as you rightly mentioned, they have their own problems. Now, both of the leaders rushed to Delhi and there was some kind of patch-up arrived or whatever it is. They have their own issues. So I think they're also trying to position themselves for the next election. So as far as the party is concerned, BJP is concerned, I will take the same stand once again, that whatever is the internal crisis, we are capable of managing it. And if there is any idea of changing leadership, that will be brought to the notice of all of you. Now, it has been a guesswork. Everybody is guessing. Everybody is going to say that 26th is the last date, or August 1st week is the last date, and things like that. So I don't think any of these things have happened, and party leadership in the center has not said a word about all these things. So we are very confident that BJP will be here for next 2 years. And if there is any problem within the party, which you all have been making a guesswork, that party is capable of handling it.
So why was the legislative party meeting cancelled then?
Excuse me?
Why was the legislative party meeting cancelled that CM Yediyurappa wanted to host on July 25th?
It was not a legislative party meeting officially. Since we are completing 2 years on the 26th of July, he had invited the party legislators for a kind of a get-together followed by a dinner. It was called as Outana Kuta in Kannada, basically a dinner celebration. Unfortunately, it was carried in all the media that there was a legislative party meeting as insisted by the party higher-ups in Delhi. It was not the case. Now, today you say it is cancelled. It was never scheduled, so there was no question of cancellation. Maybe some reason it is being postponed. It is not being held on the 26th as initially agreed upon because of some issues with regard to people going back and district ministers because of the rains having some problem. It is not being held on that Outan Kut or the dinner celebration is not being held on 26th. Otherwise, there was no question of a formal legislative party meeting.
Okay, so Brijesh Kalappa, the fact that there are BJP legislators and leaders within Karnataka who are speaking up against Yediyurappa repeatedly, the fact that leaders from the central leadership had to come down to Karnataka to try and settle down this dissent. The fact that even now there was supposed to be this, you want to call it legislative party meet or something else, whatever name you want to give it, was cancelled allegedly because the central leadership did not want it. Does this not indicate that the trouble still continues contrary to what the BJP is telling us? Brijesh Kalappa, that question to you.
Yeah. No, so I see, the first thing is that Captain Karnik is probably doesn't know what the chronology of events, as Mr. Amit Shah has famously said, is. First is that there was supposed to be a gala dinner on the 25th at a very important hotel in Bengaluru. I think the hotel was called Shangri-La. Second is that on the 26th, there was supposed to be a BJP LP meeting, right? That has been largely publicized. Everybody has been speaking about it. Now that has been cancelled. Both the gala dinner and the public meeting and the BJP LP meeting has been cancelled. Further on, Mr. Yediyurappa was supposed to proceed according to original plans to Shivamogga in order to oversee and review a large number of projects in his home district, I think to the extent of nearly 50 crore or 100 crore. Now that has also been cancelled, right? Now is Captain Karnik to say that these are all coincidences? That Mr. Yediyurappa goes to Delhi, comes back barehanded with no assurance of his continuance in office. Then the third part is that he continues to cancel every meeting while still saying that I will remain the chief minister. For the record, all of these spokespersons are also continuously saying that, look, he will continue as chief minister. But every single person in Karnataka knows that Mr. Yediyurappa is going to go. Why not say it openly? What's the problem? Why keep everybody shrouded in this great amount of secrecy? I think, see, for the first is that the people have a right to know who their chief minister is. They have elected X, Y, Z. And this has been the problem with the BJP last time around also. When they had more than one chief minister, when Mr. Yediyurappa was by conspiracy within his party sent to jail, because I'm not saying this. Mr. Yediyurappa himself said this when he came outside and formed the KJP. Now, is there such a conspiracy? Let the people know. What's the difficulty? See, I think the first thing is that if you're honest to the people, and if you let the people know what the truth of the matter is, I think you will not have any problems. So I think the first thing is please let the people know what the truth of the matter is.
Well, every party takes its own time to get there. 6 months, 3 months, however long it takes before the elections. Look at what happened in the Congress party in Punjab and how long that drama continued. It still does actually. It's still going on. So it's not just, problems within one party. Very quickly, Mano, I appeal to you this question before I wrap this up. How long will this continue, considering there is still some time for elections in the state of Karnataka? Would the BJP actually want a change in leadership, new party leadership to come into place, settle down well ahead of the next round of elections?
Yeah, absolutely. Because see, Yediyurappa is 79. He's the if I'm not wrong, I think after Amrinder Singh, Yediyurappa is the senior most chief minister in the country, and is 79. And the next elections in Karnataka is in 2023. So it means he will be 81. So absolutely, BJP cannot afford to have a 81-year-old CM to lead the next elections. So they have to find a replacement for him. The problem for the party is that they are not finding one. They've floated 4 or 5 names, but absolutely no one is as capable as Yediyurappa. Yediyurappa, no doubt, is the tallest Lingayat leader after Virendra Patil, and he has managed to keep that Lingayat community together. Though he doesn't hail from the North Karnataka where the Lingayats are the most, he's from the Mandya district.
I'm sorry I'm coming in here, but I'm completely out of time. But like you said, that they don't have any clear name right now. Few names, but none of them strong enough really. But obviously they will need stronger local leadership going into the next set of elections. And the fact that CM Yediyurappa still enjoys so much support from the Lingayat community is just making this entire situation a lot more complicated for the BJP. Completely out of time. So I'm going to thank all of the panelists for joining us, but we're keeping a very close eye on these political developments taking place in the state of Karnataka. Thank you for joining us.